Are you tired of losing your fantasy football league over and over and over again? Well, that's about to change because you have me now. My name is Trey Dalbert. I'm the head of VendettaSportsMedia.com, and I am smart, and my thoughts are valid. And there's just nobody on the planet that's better at me. That's better at fantasy football than I am. It's just a fact. And if you're tired of losing your fantasy league, there's good news. I'm here to help. And the first thing you should do when it comes to your fantasy league this year, draft JK Dobbins. Draft JK Dobbins. JK Dobbins will be the number one player that helps you win your fantasy league this year. And I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it because it makes too much sense. I was looking at the fantasy football rankings this year, and listen, I don't have any respect for the fantasy football rankers. They're idiots. They're dumb. I'm better at them. It just is what it is. I looked today. Fantasy Pros had J.K. Dobbins ranked as RB22. Oh, boy. Where do we even start? That ranking's so bad, I'm willing to bet my life on it. Honestly. As I sit here today, whoever is watching, whoever is listening, whoever wants to take the bet, I'm willing to take the bet. J.K. Dobbins will finish better than RB22 this year. I'll bet whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. I'll bet my life on it. I don't care. It's just too obvious. It's too obvious. Let's go through it and the reasons why you should draft J.K. Dobbins this year. A, how do we not believe in the track record? How do we not believe in the talent? You're telling me he's not talented? You're telling me he's not good? Because that doesn't seem to be correct. As a rookie, J.K. Dobbins, I'll give you his stats real quick. As a rookie, 134 attempts, 805 yards, 9 touchdowns. That was as the third string running back as a rookie behind Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards. He averaged 6 yards per carry. That led the NFL. Mark Ingram's no longer in town, and J.K. Dobbins is now the clear-cut starter. I can't add 220 carries and 1,800 yards. Tell me that's impossible? Come on. B, did we forget about how good he was at Ohio State? Because I did. Did you? Listen, I know people have bad memories, but I didn't forget. Because if I recall correctly, J.K. Dobbins is the second all-time leading rusher at Ohio State, and I think that matters. You know, it's not Kent State. It's not Toledo. He's the second all-time leading rusher at the University of Ohio State. Pretty good players there. Pretty good players. Number one on that list is Archie Griffin. Number two on that list is J.K. Dobbins. And number three on that list, Ezekiel Elliott, who won a lot of people fantasy leagues over his first couple of years in the league. So, you know, maybe keep it in mind. C, pay attention. This isn't hard. It's the stock market, except it's fantasy football. Buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. We have a clear history of what happens with these running backs. They come into the league as rookies. The good ones show their potential, but they're really not going to, impact your fantasy league too much. They may help you out a couple weeks, but they're rookies. They're getting their feet wet. It is what it is. The second, third, and fourth years are where you really make your money on the running backs. Really make your money on the running backs. More so the second year. And we have a lot of history to back this up. One of my favorite players of all time, Chris Johnson, his second year in the league, rushed for 2,000 yards. Another example, Adrian Peterson, his second best year ever was his second year in the league, 1,700 yards. More interestingly enough, Peterson also tore his ACL like Dobbins. Don't know why John Harbaugh has a low IQ and plays him in the preseason, but that's another story for another day. When Peterson tore his ACL, had some time to recover, no tread on the tires, rushed for over 2,000 yards. This is something that happens all the time. More recently, if you can't remember, you can't think, you can't process information like me. This happened 1 year ago. Jonathan Taylor played pretty well as a rookie, but, he didn't win you your fantasy league for you. Year two, he probably won you your fantasy league for you. 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. Big year. J.K. Dobbins, this is going to be his second real year in the NFL. And if you believe in the talent like I do, odds are he's going to have a really good year. I'm thinking 1,818 touchdowns. But, we'll see. D, he plays for the Baltimore Ravens. You mean to tell me the only team that likes to run the football isn't going to have a fantasy productive running back? It doesn't make any sense. People tell you things without telling you things. It's just if you're smart enough to pay attention. Good news is you have me now. Did the Baltimore Ravens sign any free agent wide receivers? The answer to that question is no. Did the Baltimore Ravens draft any wide receivers? The answer to that question is also no. Is Marquise Brown still on the roster? The answer to that question is also no. He was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. Right now, you're looking at Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay. Okay. Furthermore, we already know what the Baltimore Ravens want to do. They want to run the football. As a rookie, with JK Dobbins' rookie year, the Baltimore Ravens led the NFL in rush percentage, 55%. Number 2 in the league was the New England Patriots at 51%. Pretty wide margin compared to everybody else. Now, of course, the Ravens were 11th in rush percentage a year ago. However, Dobbins wasn't healthy. Gus Edwards wasn't healthy. Justice Hill wasn't even healthy. It was so bad that Tyson Williams was the week 1 starter last year. He's also no longer on the roster. In fact, he's so bad, the Ravens didn't even tender him an undrafted contract. So, obviously, they're not going to run the ball as much if they don't have a running back they can trust. Furthermore, the Ravens weren't really that good last year because when you put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hands, he's not really that good. So, if you're asking him to carry the offense, it's not going to happen. The Baltimore Ravens know what they want to do. Run the football. And if you needed any more proof of that, what did they do during free agency? Sign Kevin Zeitler. Sign Morgan Moses. What did they do during the draft? Draft Tyler Linderbaum in the first round in a pick they used for Marquise Brown. And draft Daniel Falele. Big guy, Minnesota, 380-pounder or whatever. They're going to want to run the football. So, in conclusion, we have this really talented running back that set records at Ohio State. We have a track record of really talented running backs hitting their stride in year 2. And we have a team that wants to run the football more than anybody else. And you mean to tell me JK Dobbins is RB22 in your rankings? This is why I dominate fantasy football every year, because nobody's as good as me at this, and it's really not that hard. Draft JK Dobbins this year. Don't be an idiot. And if you somehow miss out on JK Dobbins, it's not the end of the world. Cam Akers is pretty good too, and he falls in line with a lot of this trajectory stuff. So, draft JK Dobbins this year. Don't be an idiot. I'll bet my life on it. I'm that confident. This is Trey Daubert, and if you learned anything today, JK Dobbins. He's going to win your fantasy league. Book it.